You're listening to Strange by Nature, your guide to the strange, weird, unbelievable, and improbable wonders of the natural world.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for being here today. I'm Kirk Mona, and joining me are Rachel Gimza and Victoria Thompson. We're all naturalists who together have scoured the world for weird and wonderful wonders, just to please your mammalian brain's desire for novelty. Isn't that nice? Let's do this.
All right, welcome to the show, everyone. I get to get us started this week.
Ooh, good to be here.
I'm so excited. It's always so good to be here. How are you? How are you both?
Doing fine.
I am great.
Good. So, it's the year to talk bears. And this year, we've talked sun bears, and we've talked polar bears.
That's right.
That's right. I'm talking about bears this year.
Right.
And we've got a whopping 10 more bears to go. So,
Victoria and I should just randomly start doing some bears just to steal them from you. Is that okay?
I'm gonna throw you.
I mean,
this
you can.
Week I'm gonna do black bears. No.
Have fun. No, you can do bears. But I've just determined that we need to talk about bears. So we've got 10 more to go. So number 3 in our bear breakdown is a bear that was the first to break from the rest of the bears in the phenological timeline, the taxonomy.
Okay.
Let's talk
the teddy bear.
panda bears.
Pandas. Yeah, those are pretty weird bears.
Interesting, yeah.
They are pretty bizarre. Okay, so
pretty awesome.
They're pretty great.
Yeah, of course.
So first of all, pandas. Most of us have a picture in our head when we think of a panda. Now, they are native, of course, to central China, and they are pretty widespread. So pandas in general, I would like to say that they're vulnerable. They're not endangered anymore, which is very exciting.
Okay, that's big.
Now, which is a pretty big deal. Now, a giant panda, they are black and white, not red all over. They look like a bear. They have the body of a typical bear. So if you think of like a teddy bear or anything like that, it's got black fur on its ears, little eye patches on its nose, or like muzzle, the legs, and the shoulders. Okay. Mm-hmm. The rest of the animal is white. So it's pretty black and white.
Rachel, why does it look like that? Do you know? Did you find
Scientists don't know why they are black and white. They think that it provides some effective camouflage, but because they live, as we hopefully everyone knows, they live in giant bamboo forests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if they're not moving, they virtually disappear. So they're pretty sure it's just their version of camouflage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Especially since some of the bamboo forests are also on mountain slopes and such, so there can be snow in that area as well.
Interesting. Well, and the black around the eyes is very typical in animals, just to aid in vision and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which
prevents reflecting of light into your eyes. Yeah.
Exactly. And honestly, we'll get into it a little bit, but pandas need all the help that they can get because all pandas are nearsighted. They have terrible vision. However, they do have really good sense of hearing, and they have really, 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 really good sense of smell as well, which is really fascinating because they eat plants for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, famously, eat bamboos. It is a little weird, however, because they don't have natural enemies. So people kind of go back and forth on the whole camouflage bit, but they could have had enemies at one point. Maybe baby pandas could have that.
Yeah.
And they all are really territorial as well. Partially because, like...
I was saying, we see them in zoos a lot, where they're pretty clean, but in the wild, that white fur is going to be dirtier
muddy
and brown.
dirty and things.
Yeah, so like it's not going to be the beautiful white. And if you look at a lot of photos of pandas, they're not as white as as the snow. Like they get pretty dirty.
Oh yeah, I mean the same thing with polar bears, right? Like they don't look as white as you would think they would.
Yeah.
So pandas generally have really large areas of territory, and they need uninterrupted bamboo forests, and they roam and they eat, and they roam and they eat. They're pretty solitary, which is not necessarily unusual when it comes to bears. However, it is bad for pandas as they are famously terrible at procreating.
Yeah.
It's posed quite the problem when it comes to any sort of breeding programs within zoos, especially that all pandas are, since they are a national animal and symbol of China, all pandas technically are, like, I say with air quotes, owned by China. So all of them are on loan from China. So the ones that, like the National Zoo and such, those are, I don't know where they are at this point. I think they're still there, but they might not be anymore. It's been a minute. On loan from China, so they can ask them to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But
panda diplomacy, they call it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. So they keep them on a pretty strict leash. So pandas, they are solitary. They will, like, communicate with each other pretty commonly, as other bears will, with scent mark calls, and sometimes they'll meet together here and there. Within, like, a local group, they'll hang out, but that usually is the males that will overlap together versus, like, female home ranges will actually overlap. Not as many times as, like, the males will overlap in territory. Giant pandas, they reach maturity. They can start having babies between 4 and 7 years of age. They're actually pretty they're not productive, but, like, they are able to practice delayed implantation, which is something that isn't unusual, especially on this show, where they will wait to implant, which makes them hard to figure out if they are pregnant or not, which is a problem for a lot of breeding programs, because we're like, are you pregnant? And they're like, I don't know. Maybe. The joke is that the pandas are pregnant when they want to be, when the mood strikes them. And I mean, to be fair, they are going to be pregnant 90 to 180 days. So, and usually they're giving birth to twins, although only will give the effort for one of the cubs. And that baby will stay with their mom for up to 3 years before they are kicked out and need to go find their own territory.
Oh.
So in, like, a lifetime, a panda might only raise like 5 to 8 cubs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and, like, at birth, a panda cub is actually helpless. I'll give you a couple comparisons here. A newborn cub for a giant panda, they weigh 3 to 5 ounces and is about the size.
So tiny.
Whoa.
Yeah. So when they're born, they are 3 to 5 ounces.
What?
And they're about the size of a stick of butter. So says the Smithsonian National Zoo.
Oh my God. What? I would have thought they would be much, much larger at birth. That is wild.
They can't open their eyes for 6 to 8 weeks, and they're not mobile until they're 3 months.
There's a lot about the giant panda that seems poorly adapted.
How are they taking
agree.
care of these blind sticks of butter for 3 months? What on earth?
They are staying put, pretty much. Although I will say, female pandas aren't always known as the best mothers.
Sure.
Historically.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. For context, so I said 5 to 8 ounces, or no, 3 to 5 ounces, right? For the newborn baby. And the size of a stick of butter. They are giant pandas they can stand between 2 to 3 feet or 60 to 90 centimeters tall at the shoulder when they're on all four legs, and they can reach 4 to 6 feet long. So that's about one Rachel long.
Yeah.
All right. 1.2 to 1.8 meters. Males are larger than females, and they can weigh up to 250 pounds in the wild, and females rarely reach 220 pounds in the wild. So that's 113 kilograms or 104 kilograms.
So they're like the size of a large human.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And they're giving birth to a baby the size of a stick of butter.
Yeah, that weighs less too.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and like they are hairless, they are pink, pretty much just useless little nuggets when they are born. So they truly are putting as much effort as possible into keeping that baby alive. And so because of that, the energy that it takes to provide milk and all of that, they generally will only let one cub survive.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Nature's harsh, man.
It truly is. So there's a lot of things that we're still learning about when it comes to pandas. They are not always. Everybody loves watching pandas, and they always think, "Oh, they're so cute." Please remember, they are bears, so they are not cuddly. They look adorable, yes, and for the most part, they do eat a lot of bamboo. They spend most of the day, 10 to 16 hours a day, foraging and eating food. They have specialized wrist bones that allow them to almost look like they have thumbs, which is already bizarre. But they have really strong jaws because they are crunching down on a really thick grass. So please I don't know. I don't think we're gonna really come across
most of our
pandas,
listeners will not run into a panda in the wild.
Most won't, but they're still really cool. They are unique. And for a bear, they have large molar teeth. They are one of the ones that are mostly herbivorous, and they almost entirely eat bamboo, which is bizarre for a bear of that size, especially.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very low quality diet for
It's
such a large
really
creature.
not good overall. It is technically classified as a carnivore as well because it's within the bear family, which is but it will. So even though it mostly eats bamboo, it is considered a carnivore, and its digestive system is still like organized as like a carnivore, like with specific carnivore genes and things. So it actually like doesn't get much from the bamboo.
As I said, poorly adapted.
They're not great. Like they
Choices
can't
were made.
break down the cellulose and things. Like the main source comes from the starch of the bamboo. They actually need the shoots more than they need anything else. So they can digest starches much better. And they are able to, like, raw bamboo is actually toxic. It has cyanide in it. So the fact that they're able to, I mean, they're like, they can't detoxify cyanide, but their gut microbiome is able to let them degrade the cyanide, which is their gut microbes. Like, truly, they, in a day, according to Wikipedia, okay? In a day, it has been estimated that an adult panda absorbs 54.8 to 66.1 milligrams of cyanide a day.
I don't know, but that seems like a lot.
It is a lot. Kirk, you seem to know this a little bit more.
Well, I just I don't know what the like LD50 on cyanide is, but that seems like a lot.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot.
Yeah. So we respect the pandas. They're a little wild in the fact that they're able to do that, especially the fact that they're not getting much from the food that they're eating in the first place.
Right.
My God. Pandas,
Amazing.
really cool. My sources this week were Wikipedia, the Smithsonian National Zoo, the wildlife, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service had a great article. Animals Around the Globe, San Diego Zoo also had a great thing on them. We are going to take a quick break, and when we return, it'll be Victoria.
We're back from the break. My dad had a lot of nostalgia for the movies he had grown up with, as one tends to do, and so he liked to share them with me. We bonded over watching old movies when I was a kid.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And for a while, there was some channel that was regularly replaying the old Tarzan movies from the 1930s and 40s.
Oh, wow.
Which starred Olympic gold medal swimmer Johnny Weissmuller. I guess after he retired from swimming, he became an actor, specifically Tarzan.
Okay.
So we watched all of those together. I haven't watched one of those since I was probably 10 years old, so I don't know how they hold up. I'm guessing they're probably pretty racist and colonialist.
Probably.
Probably a safe assumption.
Yeah. But, as a kid, they were pretty entertaining. There was lots of action. There were live animals and stuff. And there was one kind of spooky thing that I remember, which is the legend of the elephant's graveyard. You guys familiar with this?
Yeah, I've heard of the elephant graveyard, yeah.
So it's the idea that when elephants sense their death coming on, they go to the secret spot where all elephants go when they die, and then their bones are just piled up there.
Sure.
And it's a kind of, I think there's like a section of the Lion King movie that maybe takes place in an elephant's graveyard too. Such a spot, of course, would be of great interest to humans since it would contain a fortune in ivory. The legend of the elephant graveyard is a myth. Although elephants, of course, do mourn the deaths of their own kind. But when I read about the recent discovery that I'm going to talk about, it did make me think of the elephant's graveyard legend.
I know what it is. Okay, that's really cool, Victoria. There was something
I saw
else.
This story too. Yeah.
So, for context for our listeners, Victoria, I kind of know vaguely the general topic, just because we've been checking here and there.
If one of us is doing
stories.
If one of us is doing a topic that's ripped from the headlines, we'll send out a feeler like, hey, anybody doing a story on ants this week or whatever?
Yeah.
So I was like, anybody doing a story on whales this week?
And what
I
was
wondered
really
if this
funny,
was your topic.
Okay. What was funny is after that, I saw 2 different stories about whales. And this was one of them. So it's so exciting. Keep going, Victoria.
Yes. Okay. So I am talking about the discovery of a whale graveyard, or if you want to be more poetic about it, a whale necropolis.
That is a great word.
Yes. Recently discovered in the Southeast Indian Ocean. Even just the bare facts of this are really mind-boggling, truly incredible. So a team of researchers from China, Italy, and New Zealand were using a manned submersible to explore a deep area of trenches and ridges. It's called the Diamantina Fracture Zone.
Okay.
This is in an area that's to the southwest of Australia, and it formed as Australia and Antarctica split apart between 30 and 40 million years ago. It's not like the rift itself, but it's kind of to the north of the rift zone.
Cool.
At any rate,
Okay.
it is about 1,200 kilometers long and quite deep. The bottom of it is about 7,000 meters deep.
Oh.
So that's 7 kilometers.
Yep, that's deep.
Or about, 4.5 miles? I didn't do the conversion. Something like that.
Wow.
So as the team started to explore the area, they quickly noticed that there were dozens, maybe hundreds of mysterious objects on the ocean floor. And so they went to pick them up, and on investigation, they turned out to be whale jawbones.
What?
Wild.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Say more.
Rachel, back in episode 203, you talked a little bit about whale falls, which is the term, for when the body of a whale that has died and sunk to the bottom of the ocean becomes this rich food source in an area where there's generally not much in the way of nutrients.
Right.
It becomes the center of this whole ecosystem. And you specifically talked about these very strange bone worms that literally use acid to dissolve and eat these massive whale bones.
Yeah.
But a whale fall goes through different cycles, and there's whole bunches of different creatures from the microscopic to large fish and octopuses that scavenge off of these whale carcasses.
Right.
So that is just as background. These researchers found 5 relatively recent whale falls that still had active scavengers, but there were also these numerous just lumps with nothing living on them. But there were hundreds of these whale jawbones, and when they
Wow.
Whoa.
And when they brought these up, they discovered that some of them were fossils, and when they dated them, they went back as far as 5.3 million years.
I'm sorry, my jaw's on the floor.
Rachel's got the shocked emoji face right now.
My jaw's on the floor. I can't react verbally.
I have questions.
Over 5 million years?
Yeah.
My God. Okay.
At least one of the species they found now is an extinct whale that was, I believe, unknown before.
That's
They
so
found
cool. New whale dropped.
476 fossil whales.
What?
476 fossil.
That's so many fossil whales. Oh my God.
Okay. All right.
In the densest area of whale falls, there were up to 759 individuals per square kilometer.
That's a lot.
Okay, the silence isn't like there's more.
Let me make sure
Okay.
I'll double check that I got that number right.
Listeners, the silence is Kirk and I just with our jaws on the absolute
my mouth is
floor,
open here.
just being like, "Excuse me, what?" I saw that. I saw this article.
Yes,
and I vaguely. I saw this article and I vaguely was like, "Oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna avoid learning anything about this." I'm so glad I did. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really, really incredible. So most of the fossils and carcasses that were found belonged to beaked whales.
Okay.
So beaked whales are a family of toothed whales, but not very much is known about almost any of them. For several reasons. They're very reclusive. They live all over the world, but they are deep divers. They dive over 500 meters for their prey. And they're basically like hanging out in the open ocean. And so people are not encountering them very much.
They
shy. may also not be very abundant, either naturally or due to previous hunting, because some of them were like hunted,
Yeah.
Sure, of course.
There are at least 24 species, but only 3 or 4 of these species are ones that we know much about it. All the others are like, we found a dead one once. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Yep.
Love that.
In
Love
appearance,
science.
in appearance, they're somewhat similar to dolphins. They have that long snout, that beaked whale. That's why they're called that.
Right.
But they only have 1 or 2 pairs of teeth.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
1 or 2 pairs of... That's 4 teeth.
Not know that.
Yeah. So, as you might guess from this, they do not capture prey with their teeth, mainly. They have
Feels like that would be hard to do otherwise.
They have a unique mechanism called suction feeding. So there's parallel grooves that run one on each side of their oral cavity, like heading down toward their gullet. and they can quickly retract their tongue to create a vacuum to suck in their prey, which is guided down the throat by these grooves.
Okay. That's one
So
way
they're
to do it.
just swallowing fish whole, huh?
Squid mainly, but yes.
Squid. Oh,
Squid. You don't need
squishier
to
at
chew
least.
squid that much.
So it appears that this whale necropolis contains basically an unbroken fossil record of beaked whales going back at least 5 million years. And because this is in the deep sea, it's far from land, it's not near any rivers or any outflows from continents, there's very little sediment that has settled over these fossils.
Interesting.
They are just lying there on the seafloor ready to be picked up.
Is it just beaked whales? Or are there other kinds there too?
Well, there are. I'll get into this in a moment, but
Okay.
one of the 5 recently deceased whales they found was a minke whale, which is a type of baleen whale.
Yeah.
So the fossils that are there are mostly, if not entirely, beaked whales.
Okay.
But it turns out that the jaw bone, the rostrum, it's called, of a beaked whale is one of the most minerally dense bones in the animal kingdom.
Whoa, interesting.
Huh.
And so apparently it's more resistant to decay and the action of bone worms and things like that. So
Gotcha.
it's possible that many other species of whale were there, but they were entirely consumed.
Okay. Okay, interesting.
But I don't know if we know enough to say yet.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
And just as a side note, they've also found numerous of these creatures feeding on the recent whale carcasses that are probably also new to science.
Yes.
Okay, then.
Discovery through dead bones. Let's go.
But why are they all here? That's the
Yeah.
big question, though, right?
The ocean's a big place.
I've
There
already
shouldn't
got
be
some
that
like
many
theories
individuals.
turning in my head here. Yeah, what do we know?
Well, we don't know for sure, but some
Yeah.
possible ideas. I mean, first of all, this is an area where we think a good number of beaked whales live. And since these are some of the deepest diving whales, that may have something to do with it.
Okay.
Because they just hang out in this deep area to start with?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Also, when whales die, they don't necessarily fall to the bottom in the exact spot where they stop swimming in general.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like, the carcass often bloats up with gas and floats along the surface for a while, and it's, scavenged by birds and sharks and whatnot until the gas dissipates enough that it sinks.
Right.
Although, I didn't find anything about this specifically, but if a whale is diving at such deep depths, and that's a dangerous activity even for an animal that's
It's pretty
adapted to
hard,
it.
yeah.
So if you die down really deep, I think the water pressure might overcome the
The
gas
gas. Yeah.
of decomposition. So it might just sink down near where its death happened.
Yeah, I mean, my
Possibly.
thought is related to that was sort of with the floating is, do we understand the currents in this area? Like, are dead whales just being pushed to this area?
Well, that's the thing. So this fracture zone, Diamantina fracture zone, has a V-shaped cross section, and it seems that a lot of currents, especially deep ocean currents, may flow through it. So
Oh.
there may be a sort of a funneling effect that's been taking place.
Okay.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Huh.
But more to be determined.
Yeah.
And, whale falls are pretty rare. Finding any whale fall is an exciting opportunity for studying.
But finding hundreds and hundreds over millions of years?
Yeah. And different communities of creatures develop in a whale fall that's in a shallower depth of the ocean versus something that's so deep. So this is even more special.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's possible that there could be similar whale graveyards in other unexplored deep trenches. We just don't know because truly the bottom of the seafloor is less well understood than the surface of the moon.
Right.
What
an amazing opportunity to look other places now.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Oh, so cool.
We'll just
All
go
right,
rent a
yes.
submersible and go.
I'm
This
in.
paper is hot off the presses. It was published in June 2026 in Nature by Peng et al. The title is A 5.3 million year old deep sea whale necropolis in the Diamantina zone.
Oh my gosh. That's so
Amazing.
cool.
And Nature, the journal, also made a nice little YouTube video called Whale Graveyard Discovered 7 kilometers under the sea, which is very fun to watch. And I also got some information from a CNN article and some background information from Wikipedia.
Oh, so cool.
We are going to take another break, and when we come back, it'll be Kirk.
Yay! Welcome back, everyone. Recently, I've talked about a few candidates for the loneliest tree in the world.
Yes.
On this show, we've talked about the tallest trees in the world
Uh-huh.
and even the oldest tree.
Yes.
So how about the coldest tree?
Ooh.
Oh, the coldest.
This is
Okay.
one that I
Yeah.
don't think I know about. Okay.
Yeah, so one of the really cool things, no pun intended, about trees is that they can go dormant in the winter.
Right.
And this is a really important skill for a couple of reasons. First off, trees have a lot of water in them, and notably a lot of water in the leaves, and leaves are fairly delicate structures. So when leaves freeze, these little
That's not
needles of
good.
ice, these little needles of like ice crystals start to grow in the water within the cells, and those needles are like millions of swords that simply pierce and shred pretty much every cell wall in the leaves. So even if it warms up again, most leaves can't survive freezing very well. Now, trees get around this problem by simply dropping their leaves in the winter. They aren't going to survive anyhow, might as well get rid of them. They're still light in the winter though, so it'd be pretty useful to evolve leaves that can still survive the cold. But there's a second hidden issue that we often don't think about, and that is the weight of snow. A mature oak tree can have upwards of 700,000 leaves on them.
What?
I found like a calculator online to figure this out. That makes for a leaf surface area of about 15,000 square feet on an especially large oak tree. Wet snow weighs about 20 pounds per square foot, so the snow load on a fully leafed out oak tree could be upwards of 300,000 pounds.
Yeah. We've seen the results of that with occasional early snowstorms.
Yep. For those who don't use goofy measurement systems, that's 136,000 kilograms of snow.
Oh my God.
So it's a lot. So clearly the branches would all snap off, even if trees could keep their leaves. And as Victoria was talking about, that happens in some places when we get these like freak snowstorms or ice storms. Sometimes branches will just break off these trees. So
Huge
I mentioned that
branches.
Since they're still light in winter, you would think some trees would have evolved to keep their leaves in winter, and they kind of did. The issue, though, is that the solution is really, 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 really old. It's to be a conifer. And conifers, like pine, spruce, larch, and fir trees, they can keep their leaves in the winter, only we call them needles. And they evolved about 200 million years before deciduous trees with their big broad leaves. So technically, we talk about gymnosperms here, those conifers. They're about 300 million years old, while the angiosperm deciduous trees that we think about date just back to the Cretaceous. So like about when T-Rex was around, only 100 million years ago.
So plants went, hey, this is effective, but also let's spread out a little bit.
Yeah, leaves that drop off for winter is actually a new invention, which is kind of interesting. What I'm assuming the reason behind this is that having huge leaves that are bigger than your needles for half of the year actually outweighs having tiny leaves all year.
Right.
Well, but also I would assume, I think the Cretaceous was a lot warmer.
It was a lot warmer.
Yeah.
Too,
So I think probably a lot of these angiosperms were evolving in a
Very
place where
hot
there
climates.
weren't cold winters.
Yep. Wasn't a concern.
That adaptation for dropping the leaves probably came along quite a bit later.
Absolutely. So we still have conifers here on Earth, and obviously, yes, they can photosynthesize all winter long, and the cold doesn't destroy their needles. Snow load is still a concern, though. And that's why if you go to a conifer and move a branch around, you'll find out that they all have very flexible branches. And it means that they can self-shed snow. So as the snow gets heavier and heavier, the branches simply bend down and down and down and down until they're basically pointing straight down, at which point the snow simply all falls right off and they spring back up free of snow and all green and ready to keep on photosynthesizing and not break. So it's a really cool adaptation that conifers have. Still, though, even with all that, eventually the cold is an issue. Living things can only protect themselves so much from the cold. So here where we record in Minnesota, our average winter temperature in January, at least up like in the boreal forests in the north.
Where I used to live.
Where we have all the conifer trees, the average winter temperature is about -7 Fahrenheit. It can routinely, though, get down to -20 in a good cold winter. It even sometimes gets that cold down here where we are. And the state record for cold is -60 degrees.
Yeah.
Now, these are all in Fahrenheit, so now I want to be fair here. So for all of our listeners who use Celsius, that's an average of -21 Celsius, routinely dipping to -28 with a record of -51. So it can get kind of chilly here in the winter, right? And even when it got down to -60 that one time, many, many years ago, that's only like a brief dip. But the trees did survive. And if it got much colder than that, we'd probably be
I'd
in
be
trouble.
sadder.
If it got that cold and stayed that cold for days on end, we'd be in Siberia. So
correct.
That's where we're headed today. We are going to go to Siberia.
Okay.
Right. The tree we are in search of here is called the Dahurian larch. The scientific name is Larix melinii. That's Gmelini. And I do love some side notes here. So I got to take a little tangent. I want to point out that whenever you see a species epithet of melinii with that weird G at the beginning of a plant or an animal or anything like that, it's usually in reference to a famous family of German naturalists. So Johann and his two nephews, Samuel and, also Johann, those were all naturalists. The nephews became famous naturalists in their own right. There are many, many, many plants named after them. So whenever you see
Kirk.
that's what it is. Yeah.
You're a nerd.
Very
The
true.
nerdiest.
Very true. As a naturalist, I find that very fun.
It's very fun.
Anyhow, the Dahurian larch, or also known as the Eastern Siberian larch, wins the distinction as the coldest tree in the world. And almost immediately, we see that it is cheating. I actually said something wrong earlier in the show. I
Yeah,
don't know if
you said I did.
Yeah, what did I
Larches
say?
lose their leaves.
Yes, they do.
Even though they're needles.
I included larches in the list of conifers, and I said that conifers.
They
keep
are
their needles.
conifers, but they're not.
They are conifers, but here's the weird thing. Larches drop all their needles in the winter. So while they are conifers, they're also deciduous, which is both weird and pretty damn clever.
Yep.
Partly because they are hardy conifers that can also drop their needles, they can withstand extreme cold.
I had to take this off my list.
They're also the most northerly tree species in the world, and those two things kind of go hand in hand. I know you want to know the answer to the big question, so here goes. How cold can they withstand?
Yeah.
Well, this East Siberian larch can withstand temperatures down to -70 Celsius. That is -94 Fahrenheit. For those who prefer that scale, I'll just say
cold. I'm out.
cripes, that's cold. I did see one note online where it was said that these trees are crazy well adapted to the cold and to long periods of cold. People have actually tried to grow them further south, but it's just too warm for
Hilarious.
them, even in the winter.
That's
what'll
so funny.
happen, and it's not necessarily that it's too warm. That I saw some people online describing it as being too warm, and that's not quite right. What happens is they will push out new tender needles in January if you try to grow them somewhere like where we live. And it's not just that it's so much warmer here, because it's still freezing, right? In January. So as I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, they're not waking up because it's -10 out. Like, that doesn't make sense. What I'm guessing it is when you move it further south, the photo period of the day changes. This is purely my speculation. I didn't read anything about this, but it would make sense to think that this tree is used to waking up. Trees often wake up based on photo period, like how much sun you're getting during the day. As you move further south, the days get longer much quicker than they do further north. So if you are way, way, way far north, the amount of sun that you get, say, in May may be the same amount of sun that down here we get in January. Right. So the trees are trying to grow somewhere like at about 45 degrees latitude where we are. And they look at a nice January day and go, oh, this is the amount of sunlight I usually get in May. So like they're looking at a January day, which is not much light. And they're going, oh, this is May. I just can't quite wrap my brain around that some places get the same amount of sunlight we do in January in May, because we don't get a lot of sunlight in January.
No.
So that's pretty wild. And they push these new tender needles out in January, and they're just going to freeze because it's actually still freezing out here. So that just is crazy. These trees absolutely need deep, long, cold winters to survive at this point. They've lost the ability to survive in places that are still cold in the winter.
Still cold, but more sun.
Yeah, very, very cool trees. I just wanted to bring those to you this week. We have the coldest trees in the world.
Oh, that's so fun. Thank you, Kirk.
Yeah,
You are
really
welcome.
Cool. Really
That
cool.
Yes. That's
There
our
it is.
show for the week. Just thanks so much, everybody. We absolutely adore doing this show for you and hearing from you. So until next time, we'll say goodbye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for listening to today's show. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes drop every Wednesday, and we love sharing this strange world with all our listeners. If you would be so kind as to leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, that would be great. It lets other lovers of the strange discover the show. You can reach us by searching for Strange by Nature Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. You can send us an email as well. Our address is contact@strangebynaturepodcast.com. If you want more information about the show, you can check out our website, strangebynaturepodcast.com, and you can support the show and get ad-free episodes at patreon.com/strangebynature. Until next week, get outside, stay curious, and embrace the strange.